All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sunday service for April 12th. And I am Rev Kim, and I'll be doing service today at St. Bridget's. I just want to give a few announcements because there may be some of you who have not done this yet. But April 18th and 19th, so this weekend coming up, Reverend Richard is going to be having his workshop for the Psychic Development 101. And if you have not signed up, I say sign up right away because it looks like we're getting quite a few people signed up. So I don't know how close we are to being full, but if you haven't, do it now and then make sure you get on that list. After that, April 25th, Reverend Richard and I will also be doing Evening with Spirit. It's at 7 o'clock and it is $45 for a seat. So get your seats saved and we will see you then. All right. So today I wanted to talk about being a skeptic, not a cynic. So John Edward, if a lot of people know who he is, I've sort of been catching him on a lot of podcasts, things like that lately. And that was something that he said in one of them. He says, you can be a skeptic, don't be a cynic. And it really kind of hit me, like, wow. So at first glance, you see these words, like cousins at a family reunion, right? Only one brings pie and the other one brings unsolicited opinions. And, you know, the skeptic asks questions, but the cynic has already decided the answers. A skeptic leans forward with curiosity. A cynic leans back with crossed arms like they're judging some kind of talent show that they were never asked to host. And in spiritualism, the difference is everything. Spiritualism was built by questioners. Our foundation was not built on a blind belief. It was built on experience, observation, and people brave enough to say, something's happening here. Let's look into it. That's skepticism at its finest. Skepticism says, I am open, but I am not gullible. And honestly, in today's world, that's a spiritual survival skill. Because if we believed everything, we'd be broke, we'd be overwhelmed, emotionally committed to at least some person, maybe Brad Pitt, who lives in Alaska, you know, but he's just really down to earth and he absolutely needs to have your money from, you know, Apple Tune cards or whatever. So the discernment matters. Cynicism, loud opinions, and closed minds. It's a different creature. Cynicism often shows up loud, confident, and very ready to share. Cynics will tell everyone exactly what they think without ever doing inner work to understand what they're talking about. They don't ask questions, they make declarations. They don't seek experience, they hand out conclusions. It's like reviewing a restaurant you've never eaten at, insisting that the food is terrible because you don't like the menu's font. Cynicism isn't wisdom, it's certainty without curiosity. And spiritually, that's a dead-end street with very good signage. So let's talk about real life. As a single parent, I can play this out in real time. A teenager says, I didn't take the $50. A skeptic says, all right, let's investigate. A cynic says, I knew it before you even opened your mouth. And meanwhile, you're standing there wondering how money disappears faster than your patience before coffee. Parenting will teach you boundaries faster than any spiritual book ever could. Because at some point you realize, I can love you deeply and not participate in the chaos of today. That's not cynicism, that's growth, that's clarity. That's spiritual maturity with just a hint of not today. Skepticism is a spiritual practice. Skepticism is sacred. It invites experience, it allows discernment, and it keeps us grounded while we explore the unseen. When you sit for reading or encounter something spiritual, skepticism says, I will take in what resonates and thoughtfully set aside what doesn't. Cynicism doesn't even enter the room fully. It stands at the door saying this is fake, while holding opinions it ordered online with zero effort and express delivery. Mediumship, integrity, and trust. As ministers and mediums, we welcome skeptics. We absolutely love skeptics. We say it all the time. They keep the work honest. They sharpen integrity. They ask us to be clear and evidential. Cynicism doesn't strengthen the work. It dismisses it without ever engaging. It's a difference between someone who asks, "Can you show me?" and someone who says, "I already know," without ever having to look. And where this lives inside of us, there's a deeper truth. Cynicism doesn't always come from arrogance. Sometimes it comes from hurt, disappointment, unanswered prayers, moments where life just didn't meet us where we needed. And so the heart quietly decides, let's never get our hopes up again. But Spirit whispers something much wiser. Stay open, just become discerning. And the balance we are called to, we are not here to believe everything, but we're not here to reject everything. We are here to stand in a sacred power of the middle, open but grounded, curious but discerning, compassionate but with boundaries that actually hold. So say, I will question without closing. I will listen without blindly accepting. I will stay open for Spirit to reach me and wise enough to recognize when the truth when it arrives. Now, cynics will always have something to say. They'll broadcast opinions like they've been running their own 24-hour news channel with no fact-checking and no field reporting. Skeptics, they're the ones quietly having the experiences. And at the end of the day, I'd rather have an experience than an opinion. So Spirit doesn't ask you to believe everything. It asks you to stay open, to receive something. Because sometimes the miracle isn't just what comes through. It is the moment you decide not to shut out before it even arrives. So I would like you to affirm, I remain open, discerning, and grounded. I release the need to judge without understanding. I choose curiosity, growth, and truth in all of its forms. And today, as you go about your week, be open but discerning. And if you must judge something quickly, let it be your coffee and not other people. All right. So thank you so much for joining me today, and we will see you next week.